Okay, so I am out in the Osceola National Forest testing a product that I was given. So this is the Letwesaf radar motion alarm system, and the company sent me an email and asked me if I'd be interested in doing a review of it, and I am interested in this because it's at locations like this that if you camp alone or even if you camp with others, that having some sort of alarm system could be useful. Let me tell you why. So I camped in this exact location probably at this point 9 years ago. 9 years ago. Camped alone right here, spent the night, kept the fire going all night. It was a cool night. And I got up the next morning, cooked my breakfast, took a shower, and I was in the middle of putting stuff back on the roof of my old Land Cruiser to leave, pack up and go, when just right out of here, out of these woods, sounded like a bulldozer coming through the palmettos and the scrub, a black bear came into my camp. Now, when the bear came into the camp, he immediately saw me. He had that look on his face like a dog that you catch doing something they know they're not supposed to do. He turned and ran. But I was thinking that it's just for situations like that it could be useful to know when something is coming into your camp. For example, just a couple weeks ago on Christmas Day, I camped with a friend in Ocala National Forest, and during the night I could hear all sorts of noise outside of my swag, outside of my tent, and it was raccoons, but for a while I wasn't sure what was going on. And really, in this place, I am extremely remote. Cell service is sketchy at best, and it's not really animals that I'm worried about when I camp in the Osceola National Forest. I mean, there are lots of black bears, coyotes, and there are other animals. I mean, those are the two that maybe you'd be worried about. Alligators in some places, not here. But really, if I hear a vehicle at night, that's when my senses come alive. I mean, who is this driving at 2 a.m. through the National Forest? Wouldn't it be cool to know well before someone got into this area that they were on their way in? That's what this could make possible, and I'm going to test it. And so the idea is that if you put this, well, let me open it up and show it to you, and then I'll start explaining what my thought process is. Okay, so let me show you what we're working with here. This is the product itself. This is the box. Let me open it up. I've already opened this thing up at home and charged it up completely, so I'd be ready to go when I got out here today. Very nice. It's got the whole iPhone feel box. My hands are freezing, guys. It is the coldest weekend in Florida in at least a year. Okay, so it comes with a nice little, very basic user manual. Turns out it's extremely simple to set up. In here, originally when I opened it, was the charging cable, and this is a little reset key that I don't think you want to lose. You probably could use a paper clip or something like that if you had to. But this is the product itself. On the left-hand side, you have the receiver. On the right-hand side, you have the radar transmitter. And let me show you what happens. It's very simple to use these, in my opinion. So you just turn them on. You long hold this button on the side. There he goes. See the lights flashing. And then over here, you just hit the on-off button. Okay, you have to hold it as well. So that's it. You just, okay, already, you see? Let me just stop for a second. Okay, so the right-hand side again, I'm within the cone of observation by the, you see, every time motion happens, let's do this. Okay, I had to turn it back off because it's just going to continue to do that because I'm making too much motion around it. So again, left-hand side, this is the receiver. Right-hand side, this is the transmitter or the detector. And so there is a tremendous range on these, over 1,000 feet range between the two. So I can set up this transmitter, the detector, 1,000 feet, actually more than that. I'll find out the exact range and put it on the screen here. I can set it up basically 1,000 feet from the transmitter, and when something passes by the detector, transmitter will go off. And you heard it just a minute ago, the little doorbell noise. And interestingly, you can connect as many as 6 right here. 6 different detectors. So you could incorporate an array of these in an area. I mean, maybe it's not just for camping, right? Maybe you need security at your property. Maybe you've got some valuables out in a storage shed or something, and you want to know when somebody's out there while you're in the house. So, you know, these could be used for that. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to leave the transmitter, the receiver. I'm going to leave this receiver here, and I'm going to go set up the transmitter, the radar detector, out at the entrance to this area. And so what my goal is to see if that distance, if it works well, and if it would alert me when someone is entering this dispersed camping area. So let's see if it works to that degree. Let's go check it out. All right, so I am walking out to the entrance of this place. I got a handful of zip ties. I think a strap would actually be better, but zip ties will work too. So what my goal is to go out to the entryway of this place and to put the transmitter, the detector hidden behind all those zip ties, right out of the entrance. And the idea is, would it alert me way back down this lane? I think it would, that someone was coming. Now, I've been thinking about it. I don't know if I want to take it all the way out to the entrance, because then if somebody just passes by on the road, it might alert me, and I don't need that. I want to be alerted if someone is actually coming down this road. So I'm going to, let me just show you what I'm looking at here. You can see right up there, this thing makes a turn, and I am going to find a spot down there to put the transmitter, and that's going to be the location that I set it up at. So let's check it out. Okay. I think I like this tree right here. It is not flimsy enough that every little breeze is going to move it. I'm going to see if I can get this thing to, if I can strap it to the tree. My hands are freezing. It's a cold, cold day. I think it's in the 20s right now. It's cold for me in Florida. Let's see. I'm going to string a couple of these things together. All right, let's see. Watch out for rattlesnakes. Okay. Okay, now it's turned on. Okay, so let me tell you what I've done. So back at the Rum Runner, I left the receiver with my phone pointing at it, recording, and we're going to see if I am setting it off right here. So we're going to go back out there, and I'm going to get the receiver and then come back here with it too to see how close I have to get to this before it alerts the receiver. Well, let's find out if it's been alerting me by going back and reviewing that video. So let's go back there. Okay, I've discovered not a downside, but something that you need to take into account, and that is that when there's wind, then the things across from the transmitter, if they move in the wind, they'll set it off. So not a downside, it's just something you have to take into account. I mean, frankly, when I first heard this thing going off, I already thought I had company, and I'm just out here in the middle of the day. So you just, oh, got company. It's wind. It's the wind moving stuff. Let's go down and check. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. There's the detector. Here is the receiver. I am going to go back down the trail. I'm going to turn on the receiver, and we're going to see how close I can get to the detector before I get the alarm. So I'm going to walk away from it and then turn it on, then I'll show you the rest. Okay, I just turned it on. We're going to see how close I can get before it comes on. All right, let's go this way. Okay, so now I'm walking back this way. I'm entering the camping area. This is really a good test too, because you kind of have 2 points of entry, right? So people could come in from either way. That's a good spot to have the transmitter, the detector. Okay, here we go. So over here, probably just off camera, 10 feet from it, 5 feet from it. Okay, so basically, I've got it on the default settings. I have not changed the settings whatsoever. You can go into detail. You can determine exactly the layout you want. The default settings shoot out 10 feet in front and 45 feet frontwards and 10 feet in either direction. And what I've seen so far proves that to be about right. And I like that area of coverage because you're not going too wide. If somebody is not really coming in here and passing that detector, I don't want to be bothered with it. If it was too wide of an area, if that bubble was too wide, then I potentially could be getting, false positive alerts constantly, and I don't need that. Okay, so a couple other things I like about this product. This may be counterintuitive or may go against what some people would say, but I like that there's no screens. There's no screens to interact with. It's very simple. It's very straightforward. It does what it does, and it's built into some very rugged housing. This thing is all weather rated. I mean, even the charging port, which you just use a USB-C cable to charge it, it's got this little rubber grommet that goes in there to keep it safe. And of course, that's on the bottom of the unit. And the same thing with this. I mean, you could, instead of, you could leave this, like I've got my little camper, you could keep it inside the camper with you. I've got no doubts that the range will be perfect for that, and it's not going to be, problematic inside of a vehicle. You can carry it in your pocket. Maybe you're all over the place here. You don't want to be surprised by someone coming in and this receiver be in your camper. So in that case, you'd want to carry it around. This thing is certainly durable enough for that. The actual transmitter, the detector, has got 2 little things built in on the sides to do straps, or I guess you could also hang it from this top one. And then this one, it's easy to hold, got little built-in handholds, and it's also got, this is the receiver, it's also got a little place on the top. I mean, you could wear this thing around your neck if you wanted to, or you could hang it from a tree somewhere central in the camping area, and then everybody could hear it when it goes off. So I think it's pretty cool. Then on the back of the transmitter, there's a little screw there, a screw hole, and it came with a double-sided sticky piece of tape and a little platform. You could use it to stick that somewhere. And I also think you could use this with like a standard tripod. It looks like the little screw on a tripod would screw into this, and you could set it up on a tripod somewhere if you didn't have a tree or something to attach it to. So first impression of this, I think it's cool. I think it's useful, and I think I will use it. Now, another thing that I think it would be useful for me for is not that I'm not afraid of wildlife, but I want to see wildlife. So if I set this thing up in an area where I believe wildlife could be traveling by, I could get alerted so that I wouldn't miss taking a photo of them or taking a video of them or just seeing them. So that also is a neat thing. So maybe for people who want to see wildlife, this is pretty cool. So I like it a lot. I think it's a neat product. In fact, if you're interested in getting one of these, since my review is positive, I made no promises to this company. I told them I wanted to try it out. But since I feel like it's kind of a neat product, on my initial first run through, if you want to get one and check it out for yourself, I'm going to put a link down in the description, and you can get one, and it will also give you a discount. So check it out. I'm going to do some more testing with this. Would you like for me to try out some other things? In fact, why don't you tell me in the comments, what would you like to see me test with this? Because it seems like a very capable product and a good way to get a little security when you're out in public land like I am right now. What do you think?